And it's time for Put Some Ranch on It. Welcome to the show. My name is Sean Murphy, along with my co-host.
Michelle Murphy.
If you haven't guessed by the last name, we are husband and wife. So this is going to be a conversation a little bit about why we look at things differently, how we look at things differently, and what takes place here at Rocky Creek Ranch. You can Google Rocky Creek Ranch, and you can find us on a couple of different camping sites where people can come out and actually spend some time. So we're going to talk about life and personal development and what it's like raising sheep, Shetland sheep, and having 5 dogs and what's that?
And chickens.
Oh, and chickens. See, I don't always do it right.
And bees.
So I'm Sean Murphy, international speaker trainer, 5-time #1 best-selling author. That and 25 cents doesn't get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. But over the last 30 years, I've been a human potentialist, helping people find their significant secret sauce of how to make the best of their days and enjoy their life and get out of stress and create more income and do all of the fun things in life that they keep talking about doing, but do them in this lifetime. What about you, Michelle? What do you think of me? I'm done talking about me. Why
Why
don't
don't
you
you
talk
talk
about
about
me?
me, right? No, I think that we started our journey mostly together. You had a father who,
Kind of raised me on that
kind of
stuff.
raised you on sales and all those
Earl
tapes and things. Earl
Nightingale
Night,
and Vince
yes,
Lombardi
which
and
was your personal development at
Mhm.
its earliest, right?
Yeah.
Um, but uh, back in 2000, we started the journey together with um Bob Proctor.
Yep.
So, and we took the same training, not all the same trainings, but we took the first training together, and came out with different
Like having
ideas.
same parents, different kids.
Right, right. So that's what we're going to talk about is the fact that we both practice along with our son, but we all have different styles. We all have
Mhm.
different methodologies. We all have different things that work for us. We personalized it. And that's what we want to share, that it's okay and you actually should do that.
So what's your background?
My background, I'm an attorney, but I don't practice, right? So very logical. So most of my um the things that I uh get from the trainings and or try to put in place is always like a logical process driven
Formula
formula. Um and
drives me crazy.
crazy and
Well, that's good.
and I
You
work
might want to look at it this
this
way.
way. And I have the awesome job of working for a bank. So I have like a regular 9 to 5.
9 to 9.
9 to 9, yeah. But uh loved moving here and being able to work from home so that we could spend time on the ranch.
Well, so
That's a
yeah, so we've
dream.
been here now
2
2
years.
years on Rocky Creek Ranch,
Mhm.
and it had nothing on it when we started.
Nope.
Nope,
Bunch of rocks and a
just
creek and a pond.
amazing energy. And then we brought in some tiny houses, and now we've got 7 Shetland sheep and
Mhm.
5 dogs and 10 chickens and
Right? Glamping
a
tent
glamping tent. That's
and
pretty
spaces that
awesome.
people come and
We
share
get to share it,
experiences.
yeah.
Yep, with us. Yep.
So we started this because we wanted to share ideas and thoughts and give perspective. We were at dinner last night with some new amazing souls. And yesterday on the boat, they said, when we were eating dinner, I said, "You guys must have some."
Very interesting conversations
Well,
at
they
home.
asked you, right? Because I'm doing the teaching and the training and kind of asking, and then they look to you and they go, do you have amazing conversations together? Do you guys have awesome conversations?" And we kind of giggle.
Right. Well, that's not the first time we've been asked that
No,
question. You
no,
get asked a lot
we get asked
because,
that because you pop onto different podcasts and different trainings when we do live events here at the ranch.
right, you've shared over the years the experiments and the different types of things that Mason's been doing.
Yep.
So they know our entire family
Yeah, it's
is
involved.
involved. It's not just a job for you. It is something that impacts the family and
It's a
that way.
lifestyle.
Right. So yeah. So we had already been thinking about doing some kind of podcast or something, and that was kind of like kickstart. It's like,
Right.
oh, we should go ahead and do this. So
So first one's the most interesting one, and this is the first one.
this is not going to be the most interesting one
Well, what I mean,
ever.
well, the phrase is the first one's the worst one.
Oh, okay.
So
Hmm.
we're still trying to figure out our feet and figure out the format and the flow because this is new. We've been married for 22 years.
No, so if we were born, basically, we were married in 99.
99, so it's 24.
5.
5. Is it?
Yeah, November will be 25 years.
So that's like a big.
Yeah, I think you get paper. You'll get a roll of toilet paper.
I get you a roll of paper towels.
There you go.
Is it 25 years?
Yes, November.
I'm glad we had this podcast before.
You'll still forget. It's 2 months away.
25 years?
Yes. We've
That's
known each
old-
other
That's
27.
older than Mason.
Why? Yeah, I hope.
I'm a genius that way. So the purpose is to share our thoughts and to share. What do you think the biggest I don't say the biggest viewpoint, vantage point of conversations that most people like the contrast between us? None of this is planned, as you can tell. We have a list of things we were going to talk about. None of them were touched
I mean,
on.
like most couples, people are different,
Right?
right? So you're not exactly the same, or opposites attract, all that, whatever. But I think that my whole philosophy on personal development or undevelopment is that you have to make it personal.
Right.
Everybody's different, period. And what works for you won't necessarily work for me, and it doesn't, right? You do
It
things
doesn't.
things hit you differently. Certain things or certain tools are more important to you and have more advantages or have more better outcomes than some of those tools I couldn't even use, right? So they don't work for me. But I think that that's okay. And w- some of the things that I see that where people get stuck is that they try to shove themselves into somebody else's box.
Right. This is everybody's looking for strategies.
Mhm.
And so strategy you use won't work for me.
Same.
Right.
Right.
So it's about state.
Right.
So the same concept could work, right? To go make $1,000.
Mhm.
Same state, you $1,000, me $1,000.
Mhm.
What makes it customized is the state, but then the strategy reveals itself. Too many people say, ask how.
Mhm.
And that's the tyranny of how Tony Robbins talks about it. He says it's the tyranny of how. Well, tell me how you did it.
Mhm.
And then I try to go do it, and I can't do it the way you did it because
Right.
it's Wallace D. Waddle said it's not about doing certain things; it's about doing things in a certain way.
Right. But it's not in a certain same way.
No, but it's a certain way for you.
Right.
Right.
But just like we're taught in law school, it's those singular words, that placement of a comma in the text, that can make or break a deal, that can make or break a case. And so it's those specifics that I have found over the years are missing from the books or the videos or the conferences. So when the speaker or the trainer is sharing that information, either they it's sometimes it's hard to train when you know the material so well, because you forget what the people that you're trying to train don't know.
Right.
And so you leave things out inadvertently, right? And so it's not like you're doing it on purpose, or you even realize you left something out. But it's those key words, commas, that are very important for people to understand. Right? So when specifically when you just said in the book, it says it's doing things in a certain way. So for me, from a logical standpoint, that would mean, oh, I've got to do it in a certain way. I need somebody to tell me what that certain way is. I did not get from that statement in that book or that training that I
Right.
had to make it personal. And when you added for you, comma, for you, that's exactly what it means. But it would take someone who knows that material inside and out and how to apply it to different people, like as a trainer, like you, a mentor or a
Right.
trainer, right? And when we're reading that book 20 years ago, that's when we started the journey, and I tried so many things in those books and videos and seminars that didn't work. And so, of course, the first thing I thought was, I'm doing this wrong. I'm not doing it in a certain way. Until I can't remember what it was years ago that clicked for me and said, I have to be realistic about what I can and can't, that what I'm good and not so great about.
Mm-hmm.
And I just need to latch onto those things that really work for me, or the things that I know I can do, or things that I know I'm successful at, and then make that work. And that was the first steps to me understanding that I had to make this personal. I had to find the things that work for me.
So, with all of that being said, why do you think so? That's the majority of ways that people are, is
Mhm.
that they get stuck in this pattern of, well, I'm just going to do it the way they do it. They
Right.
get stuck in the how. Why do you think? Where does that how philosophy come from?
What do you mean? Why do people want to follow?
Well, yeah. What puts people into this state of, well, let me just ask how. Tell me how to do it, right?
Well, so it's easier to
Okay.
ask somebody and to emulate somebody else, right? If they've already done it and they're successful, I'll just do that.
Emulate. I don't know what that
Oh,
means.
oh, I like the look, emulate.
Like I was questioning you.
Okay, so
To
copy,
mirror. Okay. I
copy.
thought that's what it meant.
Okay, good. Word of the day. Can you spell it?
Emulate.
There you go. Close enough. Um. Anyway, um, it's easier, but it's also a fallacy. Stop music.
I
Can you
didn't.
spell that one?
No,
Okay,
because
no.
it sounds a lot more like something else.
Okay, so it's not real to think that you can just do something in the same exact way somebody else does it and get the same results.
Yeah.
Now, there are certain things, like if you make a recipe and you follow the recipe and you turn on the oven to 350 degrees, whatever,
Well,
same
that's
ingredients,
syntax. That's doing
right?
things in the right order. I've asked the question for 20 years.
Right,
How many of you have ever gone to the grocery store with a shopping list and forgot what's on the shopping list?
right,
And everybody has done that.
right.
Why?
Why, when they have the shopping list with them,
Yeah,
that
they forget it.
they forget to bring it with them?
They forget to buy the thing that's on the shopping list.
Oh.
That it's never happened to you.
Well, not if I have a list. Not if I have a list. That's why I made it. Now I don't get it if I forget the list in my purse.
No,
That's
but I mean,
different.
have the list right
In
there.
front of me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that must be that intentional blindness you talk about. We don't have any mayonnaise. There's 4 bottles in the fridge. I don't see any of them. Well, there's one fell on your foot, so what about that one?
Is that what that was? That's a fallacy.
But it's so there are things that you can follow a recipe or directions and end up with the same result in the end. But when we're talking about personal development or undevelopment, it has to be personal
Hmm.
because, what you're trying to change is not, a loaf of bread or a cherry pie. This is stuff that has been basically built over the years by other people in your life
Hmm.
that you've grabbed onto and stuck it right down deep inside. And personal undevelopment, I believe, you can
Right.
correct me if I'm wrong, is how to
It's never happened in 25
correct me
years.
if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong ever. um, dig down deep in.
25 years?
Well, we've been together 27.
Right. No, that I know.
Well, if we were together 2 years, so you don't know math either. 2 years before we got
I
married.
know, but it
That
just
would be
seems that's a lot
25.
of, that's
That seems
big.
like a lot
That
of
means
years. It is.
like we have to have a party or something.
I don't know about all that. I just want to take a nap. after all that. But, um, when you're undeveloping,
All right.
you need to dig down,
So
need help digging
let me
down to
give
get
you a
that
little
out.
context on undevelopment.
Okay.
It's about, they say when we're by 7 years old, we're pretty programmed with a lot of the beliefs that we have, and then our brain doesn't fully take its final shape by women are older, happen faster than men or something.
That's very scientific
Very
sounding.
scientific. But all of these things that, whether there's societal inheritance
Mhm.
or physical inheritance, heredity, and we pick up these things based on our culture, right? So personal undevelopment is undoing your fourth grade teacher who said you're no good at math,
Right.
or your first girlfriend that said you're not as good as Tommy Miller and you're a loser. And these things get stuck with you,
Right.
and they stay stuck with you, and so they become part of the foundation we go through personal development to build on. And people wonder why they do their affirmations or why they read the books, and they've read the book over and over and over and over, and they still haven't broken free from this chain of complacency and lack. And when's it going to be my turn? If you've ever said, when am I going to get my chance? That's because you've developed this personality. Joe Dispenza says your personal reality makes up your personality, or your personality makes up your personal reality. We continue to allow our external environment to dictate to us the things that we can do. Now, many people will argue with me. This is called addiction to approval. No, my environment doesn't do that. There's all of these rules that we've established in our brain as a brain trainer. We've established in our brain that says, these are my responses to these actions that take place in my world. So that's all your life is a constant series of reactions to things that happen in your environment. Somebody cuts you off, everybody knows that the person in the car who's going to swear, they're going to go, ooh, and right, and they go nuts, and that son of a gun, and this, that, or the other. Or if somebody sends you an email at work and you're like, that's stupid. All of these things to say is your life is a series of responses and reactions to things that happen in your world.
Right.
And so if you're stuck, you have to undo some of these responses. I can't say if I see a black German Shepherd, oh, I got bit by that when I was little. All dogs are bad. And every time I see a black German Shepherd, I get nervous and I get scared. Well, I can't go train dogs if I'm going to go train German Shepherds, because it just, that fear doesn't work it. So I have to undo the fear, undo this thing that's been done to me that I've allowed subconsciously, unconsciously, many times not even consciously, to be programmed in my life. And then it's called a rewire. So we have to undo some of those traumas and beliefs and disbeliefs so that we can step into our new us. Most people will say, "Oh, I got to get out of my comfort zone." There is no comfort zone. It's a pain zone you've become comfortable in. Is your journey to your freedom and your joy and your income levels that you have written on your mirror, are those painful places? How could it be a painful place if you want to get there? How do you have
Right.
to get out of this comfort zone? You're not in a comfort zone. You're in a pain zone that you're comfortable with. So that's personal undevelopment, is undoing the things that have been wired into us that we may not even be fully aware till you have a conversation with somebody.
Right. The conversation with someone like you.
Well, me or somebody better than me.
Yeah. See if I'm available.
I,
Let me check my calendar. Awesome. So we're thinking though that um a couple of people that will probably follow us will
yeah.
probably just want to see pictures of all the animals.
Yes.
That's probably the more appealing part.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put some ranch on it.
Hey,
Like, who do we have
Jameson.
right? Jameson,
Hi,
come up here.
Jameson.
Can we see Jameson, or is he shorter than the video?
You're just seeing his nose, probably.
Come on, Jameson.
He's a good boy,
Awesome.
Jameson.
And if all else fails, what can you do?
What?
I said, if all else fails,
Well,
Just put some ranch on
oh,
it.
just put some ranch on it. So that's kind of episode 1. A little bit about what we're going to talk about. You get a feel for the sense of give and take, back and forth,
Seriousness.
and
Yes.
the anxiety that's created by one.
Mm-hmm.
Jameson thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Beamish, stop. So, anything else before we wrap up? How can they find the glamping tent if they wanted to come out or spend some time on the ranch?
Well, we're in the Ozarks, so you can Google Rocky Creek Ranch, Shirley, Arkansas.
The striving metropolis.
Yes, and
Home of the chuck wagon races.
the chuck wagon race is starting this weekend. Actually, started yesterday.
Started yesterday.
They're every
The world's
Labor Day.
largest collection of chuck wagon races.
Yep, the
racers in the world.
Yep,
The
Labor Day
world's
weekend.
largest would be
Every
in the world.
the world, yeah, they'd be in this world. Every Labor Day weekend, they have them here right in town. It's awesome. Kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
It's like an extreme sport for sure.
Usually there's a helicopter life flight out.
At
for
least
somebody.
once, or a couple twice. A couple times. There's been several of them. Or we're on Hip Camp, Rocky Creek Ranch, and then also we're on Airbnb.
Yep.
So and that is
And some of the
under my
podcasts
name.
will take you
Yeah.
on a tour through the different
Well, yeah,
tiny
we have-
houses and stuff, and
Yeah, we have videos.
introduce you to. You can go find us on TikTok at Rocky Creek Ranch.
It's rocky.creek.ranch.
Rocky.creek.ranch.
And you see an awesome avatar of Gizmo,
Yes.
who is our patriarch sheep ram. And he looks like a badass superhero.
Yes. 'Cause he
You
is.
can't miss him.
And that's it.
That's
Oh,
it.
if you'd like to submit some questions,
Oh yeah,
do that where?
topics, anything
Where do
like
they do
that.
that?
Where do they do that? Oh, well, we have a Rocky Creek Ranch AR for Arkansas at gmail.com. Rocky Creek Ranch AR. It's Arkansas is not AK.
Or if you're a pirate.
Arr. Rocky Creek Ranch. Arr. Stupid.
That's me. That's my contribution to the podcast.
That's awesome.
So we appreciate you. Thank you for it. And if you're never sure what to do, or if you're just wondering what you should do,
Put some ranch on.
put some ranch on. All right, everybody. We'll see you at the next episode, episode 2. Tell your friends. Bye for now.
Thanks.
Inspiration and a hero to fear. Put some ranch on and watch the smiles repeat.